Hey everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Kings. My name is Matt, and in today's video I wanted to go over a scenario that so many people have been asking me, including people on my live streams and my comments, and that is, of course, what would happen if Robinhood lists Shiba Inu. I think there's a lot of sort of garbage information out there and garbage about generally what could happen with Robinhood, because let's be honest, guys, it's not going to ascend on Robinhood, but it could have a very, very nice run. So that's what I wanted to get into in today's video. If you guys are new, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and let's get right into it. So if you guys have not already seen exactly what is essentially going on with this, there is an awful lot that could happen if Robinhood listed SHIB, because let's be honest, guys, we're in a pretty tough downtrend right now. This is difficult, and the idea here is, of course, oh my goodness, Kraken has not listed it, Robinhood has not listed it. There's a lot of sort of issues going on right now with whether or not Robinhood could actually list this and cause a significant impact in the price. So when it comes down to it, guys, we have to take into account historical data for what happens when the sort of Robinhood community is attracted to something. I think the best way to go is to take a look, of course, at Dogecoin. And Dogecoin is one of the prime examples. Now, Dogecoin has been on Robinhood for a while, but people did not really use Robinhood to buy Dogecoin until, of course, that original sort of Elon Musk kind of pump that happened all the way back in April. So you guys can see that Dogecoin eerily follows Shiba Inu in a very similar way. So you guys can see we have this surge here up to the top, which is around 40 cents-ish, and this surge could very well be attributed to, this 18th surge of April here could very well be attributed to the similar surge that we've seen right now with SHIB. I mean, it really does look like a similar kind of movement here with Doge. In fact, almost identical kind of movement here that we are seeing with SHIB. Now, the issue with all of this, the issue that I'm seeing is, of course, the fact that SHIB has now entered this very sort of bearish phase, and do we see a chance for recovery? Well, it did, after reaching 40 cents, fall into a sort of bear trap here, going down to 24 cents at one point, which is difficult. That's not good at all. And Dogecoin, after falling into that 24-cent trap, basically falling in value, around 40-50%, after falling in value by that amount, which you could safely say that SHIB has, after falling by that amount, you guys can see it surges all the way up to the top. It virtually triples, doubles from its low here. So this ties into a theory that I have had for a long time, and that is, of course, the idea that Shiba Inu could, at some point, enter a bull run. And the idea of this entering a bull run, again, looks eerily similar to what Dogecoin did. And this is, documented historical, evidence here of a bear trap here, falling down into, 24 cents. Oh my goodness, is Dogecoin going to zero? And the community rejects it, goes no, and we see an incredible surge all the way up to the top again, virtually triple where we were. So let's play out that scenario in terms of Shiba Inu. So right now we are down to around, 48. This is not particularly great, and I know there are, some opportunities here to see a bullish kind of movement, but in general, guys, this is not particularly great. But let's say a similar pattern happens, and we get a brand new Robinhood announcement, which is comparable to the Elon Musk pump. Again, by this point, it had already been on Robinhood, but the majority of people migrated to Robinhood and actually started using it during this run. So let's just say that we get another one of those pumps, and this time, it would be SHIB actually listing it as opposed to Elon tweeting about it, but it has a similar effect. So in this instance, we would watch it after being in this downtrend, of course, heading all the way up, virtually tripling. So if that is the case, we would go all the way from where we are sitting right now, which is right around 48. We would head all the way up in that instance to around 15, at least in the new decimal slot here, shaving off another zero. Now, this would be an awful lot. This would be very, very high, but you're forgetting just about how many people actually use Robinhood and how much hype this would actually create for the community. But I'm willing to concede, you know what? Maybe we won't see another Doge. This might be a little bit more difficult. And again, the crypto bull run, maybe, oh my goodness, it's coming to an end, yada, yada. Okay, this is a little bit more difficult. Let's shave off a little bit here. Let's be a little generous and say, you know what? It probably isn't going to surge that much. Let's head it all the way up to around 10 or 11, somewhere around here. This, to me, seems like a very, very reasonable prediction, because obviously, when you guys can see here, we are looking at a surge surge all the way up to 88 just from Twitter, social media, Yahoo Finance articles. The basics managed to push it all the way up here to around 88. That is what the basics were able to do in this instance with Robinhood, and that is fine. You know what I mean? This was a very fine run, and now we're watching it kind of slope down like you would in any instance. And let's take a look at what could happen with Robinhood listing it. So Robinhood lists it, it surges all the way up here. I see everybody, it reaches a peak, buy, we're gonna make a ton of money, and then a couple whales sell, it causes a flash crash, which heads somewhere down. It heads a good deal down. Now, the way to sort of tell how far down is, of course, to look at Dogecoin. So again, you guys can see we head all the way from 68 all the way down here to one point at 38. So a little less than half of a decrease. So we would go from maybe 11 all the way down to perhaps 70 or 80. And that would sort of make sense. Go down to around 70 or 80. Then replicating the Dogecoin movement, of course, we have another set of growth and then kind of a slide down. So we'd have another set of growth afterwards and then what looks like, again, another slide down. Now, the question is, will this slide down be in some fashion prevented? Will this slide down here be prevented by community support, by whales holding it up and buying it? Will that happen? Well, that is hard to tell, and that is something that only the future will tell, to be honest. But when it comes down to it, that is, in my mind, what I could see Robinhood realistically doing in terms of having an effect on the price. Now, of course, when it comes down to Kraken, which I know so many people have been wondering about, Kraken would be probably a much smaller sort of pump. So I could see Kraken realistically taking it from, say, 48, maybe up to like 55, and then we would head down to retest the 50 line. Because the line that really matters right now, without, of course, a Robinhood listing, is going to be one of the fib lines. So when we look at the fib lines here, of course, guys, you all can see the major fib line that speaks out to me is the 23.6% line. This is pretty big. This 23.6% line will be telling a lot. So the idea here is, of course, if Kraken were to list it and we were to surge, it could very well head back down and bounce off the line in a better fashion, getting us back into more normal territory. So that is the circumstance, of course, in my opinion, for Kraken, but the circumstance for Robinhood is definitely, again, a lot bigger. So with that being said, everybody, thank you all so much for watching the video. I want to know down below in the comments, where do you guys personally see Robinhood taking SHIB in the near future? Because personally, again, once Robinhood lists it, I do think this could be the start of, sort of a permanent rebasing at a much higher support level than we are right now. I think Robinhood having access to this, and of course being, sort of, meme stock, meme crypto central, tied with the fact that the community support on Twitter and things like that would be literally ludicrous for this, I think that would help Robinhood permanently rise the bottom of SHIB, at least until we reach sort of this kind of pivotal point as to whether or not we're going to slip down into sort of a bear market for it, or be able to sustain ourselves after re-challenging some very difficult lines of, resistance that, would be very, very pivotal if that were to happen. So that being said, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed the video. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.